The key to happiness is enjoying the party, but never forgetting that spoonful of oil. Huh? Damn, I look good. I can't even lie, I look pretty good on camera. Let's go. Let's talk about ID at Xbox. Spring 2022. First of all, they have a pre-show, and they didn't even show the first trailer for the first hour and 2 minutes. Lost Eidolons. They started off the show with Lost Eidolons. This actually was like a turn-by-turn tactics game inspired by Fire Emblem. It looked pretty interesting, I'm not gonna lie. This one was not day one Game Pass though. They didn't say anything about that. That one's coming out Q3 2022, and I'll go ahead and play the trailer for you so that way you could watch it, you know, be the judge of yourself. I thought this one looked really good. Next up, this is when they brought out TPain and he announced his new religion, Buddhism.
Look, I don't know why nobody's thought of this before, cause it's friggin' brilliant. I'm a medieval genius. I got so much faith. I could just make my own religion where divorce is legal. Kaboom, problem solved. We'll call it, check me, Buddhism.
Which of course we're joining. That is Crusaders 3. Comes out March 29th, and that is day one Game Pass. Following TPain's legendary act, they announced Tunic, which is actually going to be day one Game Pass. It previously wasn't announced for Game Pass. It was just an Xbox exclusive that you could purchase, kind of like Death's Door. But I guess somehow they made a deal in the back end, and now it's day one Game Pass, and it's out today. So if you want to check out Tunic, I think it's like a 86 or 89 Metacritic. It was 89 earlier today. It might have changed. Open Critic was 86. Immortals. It looks very ambitious. I'm super excited about it. It's like a movie game, and this is directed by Sam Barlow, which is the same guy who directed Silent Hill, the movie, of course. And this game has 3 different movies going on, and they're horror movies. And basically, they said there's going to be recurring themes throughout the movies, such as maybe like a piece of fruit in certain movies. And you're going to watch these 3 films, and at any time you're able to pause it and click anywhere inside the film space and learn more about an object and kind of just solve this crazy mystery that's going on about the actor. It takes place in the 1960s. This is apparently like a Metrovania film game. It looks literally insane. It's an open world story as he described it. Like I said, you could literally pause the film at any moment, pick an object, and then learn more about it, go more into it, and just solve the film. This looks like a really cool thing, you know, if you're sitting maybe with a couple friends on the couch and you want to watch some films, you know what I'm saying, just watch this film and then like y'all could all discuss it like right there and then. This might be a cool one to even play on Twitch. Like this game looks very ambitious. I hope it comes out good. This is a Cyber Noir point and click retro private investigator game. Chinatown Detective Agency. Take control of Almeria Drama, which is a character in the game. This is inspired kind of by like Pulp Fiction and Sin City. Now this is of course a pixelated point and click game, so it's a tough sell, but it is day one Game Pass, so it has that going for it. Hey Siri, define purgatory.
As a noun, purgatory means, in Roman Catholic doctrine, a place or state of suffering inhabited by the souls of sinners who are expiating their sins before going to heaven. Do you want to hear the remaining one?
No, thank you. That's pretty dark, actually. Cursed Golf takes place in Purgatory. It's a physics-based roguelike, golfing through these hand-created dungeons. It's pretty big for a roguelike. Most of them are randomly generated, but the developer said he made about 80 different levels for this, and they could just show up at any random time based off difficulty. So if you're dying a lot in a certain area, maybe it's going to suggest an easier area for your next playthrough. This game was also made by one guy.
I'm the only one that made Cursed Golf.
That's factually incorrect.
Liam Edwards. So props up to that guy. And that was not a day one Game Pass game, so we'll see how that one comes out. Next game on the list was To Yami. To Yami, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. That was the recent game, the samurai black and white game that they showed at the PlayStation Direct. Or the PlayStation, what do they call it? PlayStation Experience, PlayStation Now, PlayStation, whatever. It was a black and white samurai game. This game looks pretty badass, as you would expect. It's very grainy. It looks like an old black and white film. It's pretty violent as well. I saw a lot of blood and gore. I hope they have an option to to like turn that blood red, you know, just to make it really stick out, kind of like the old school game, The Dishwasher. If you ever played that game, sick. That is going to be day one Game Pass, so look out for that one. Very exciting.
Now this next game, they might as well have just showed this.
I didn't even get the name of this game. I have Punk Fantasy. It had some DBZ sound effects, dice going on. There's a lot going on for this game. I honestly had no idea how I felt. I'm just going to play the trailer.
To this dice game before a fight begins to determine the rules of combat.
And the next game was Escape Academy. Now this is an escape room simulator, somewhat, and I've been to one escape room my entire life, and I literally did nothing for my team, and I apologize to anyone that was there, but yeah, I suck at these little mystery puzzles. I'm not even good at Resident Evil. I actually put down Resident Evil 2 because I couldn't solve the puzzles, and I didn't want to like YouTube every single moment in that game. So yeah, I'm not good at puzzles, and definitely not good at room simulators, but apparently this is Room Simulator, or Escape Room Academy. So it's gonna kind of teach you from the beginning, level 1, like, you know, just walk you through what an escape room could do and stuff. So it's pretty cool. Might check it out with a couple friends. Now they did mention it's local co-op, but they didn't say anything about online co-op. I really hope that is online, because it's definitely a game that's like, throw it on Xbox Live, whatever. And then they went to Shredders, which is a game coming out today, as the day I'm filming. This is that snowboarder game that Spawn Wave keeps hyping up. Now this game does look pretty badass. It really reminds me of like the Tony Hawk games. The Tony Hawk games are like skater games. I never played a snowboarding game, but when I was a kid, my mom used to work at Journey's Kids, and they had a PS1 set up in there, and I'd always play, and it was just badass. And that game kind of gives me that feeling that it's just gonna be, you know, throw some tricks on, skate some hills. Yeah, I'll definitely check that one out. It's that one is out already, probably by the time you've seen this video, so check it out. It's on Game Pass. Flintlock. Now this game looked badass. This is day one Game Pass. This game looked, they played a CGI trailer, but they said it's gonna be very similar to their previous game called Ashen, which was kind of like a Dark Souls inspired game, but they basically said they have upped every single thing about that game, including the graphics, which look pretty good. Hard-hitting combat, fantasy world. This takes place in a world with wizards and magic, and guns have basically just been invented. This is going to be Lord of the Rings with magic spells and guns. If a wizard's attacking you with magic spells, you're going to blast that dude with a cannon. It's going to be... the only thing I didn't like about this showing is the director couldn't confirm if you could pet the dog. This is the part of ID at Xbox where it became a total snooze fest. They started showing Roblox, and then they followed up with a Kickstarter JRPG. Roblox is like Minecraft big, and no one mentions that Roblox is an Xbox exclusive. The next game they showed is Void Train. Now this one is not a day one Game Pass, but this game looked fucking crazy. Like, I didn't even know what was going on. It's some sort of train station game where you're inside what they call the Void, inspired by Half-Life and the Polar Express, I guess. This game looks crazy. The next game is called There Is No Light. This game's coming out in 2022. Very fast, fluid gameplay. So one of the big things in this game is you're going to be building karma throughout the game with various side quests and different people that you meet throughout it. And you can either accept or deny their quest, and that's going to, of course, build your karma. And then later on in the game, you fight your karma demon. And based on the trailer, what they were showing looked pretty good. Hopefully that does come day one Game Pass, because that looks like a game I would want to try, but I wouldn't want to buy.
X, now can you dig that, sucker?
Okay, now this was my most hyped game that they showed today, and this one's called Wrestle Quest. The game designer described it as Toy Story with the Lord of the Rings storytelling inside the lens of wrestling.
If I describe Wrestle Quest really broadly, it's Toy Story with Lord of the Rings storytelling through the lens of a wrestling universe. So everything here is wrestling. There's no kayfabe. Wrestling's always on, and wrestling is life.
And of course, this featured Booker T and Jeff. They are both confirmed to be in-game, and you're able to recruit one of them as your manager through various story arcs. And they also said this game has a lot of replayability just because there's so much content in it. And this is by Mega Cat Studios. Make sure you follow them on Twitter because this game looks like it's going to be legit. And this game was actually not day one Game Pass, but this one sold me pretty good. Like, I'll probably end up picking it up if it gets good reviews. The next game on ID Direct was called Floppy Nights. Something they wanted to achieve with this game was making it as approachable as possible, because deck building games, and especially tactics games, they all have that stank, that, you know, that kind of unapproachable, I gotta learn this whole new mechanic, I gotta learn their world. So something the developers are going for on this game is just making it as friendly as possible. And you can see that even like with the graphics just being kind of like cartoonish. Every level in this game is handcrafted. This is basically just Advanced War with cards. That's how they described it. And this one is day one Game Pass. I was interested in Advanced Wars from Nintendo. That game got delayed indefinitely due to world events, obviously. I did check out Dice Dungeons. That game was pretty fun. I had a lot of fun with it. It's just kind of like a roguelike, kind of like Slay the Spire. This game kind of has like similar card mechanics to that one. So I'll definitely be checking this one out day one Game Pass.
And at this point, the event should have ended like an hour ago, but they decided to keep going and actually show a game montage of like 4 games all together within like a minute. And because they did that, I'm not even going to show you them.
Nobody has time to sit down for an indie show for 3 hours on a, what, Wednesday? You're going to ask me to dedicate 3 hours of my time on a Wednesday to watch an indie showcase with Twitch streamers I don't even know? Like, come on, Microsoft. Like, what are you thinking? You, like, people don't even tune into the Nindy Direct, Nintendo Spotlight, Indie Spotlight. And those are like 15-minute, you know, trailer after trailer. It's action jam-packed. And people don't even tune into that, you know? People just read the headlines. Like, it's an indie game. And so this one, I think Microsoft really doesn't have the right formula. What they need to do, this is my suggestion, Phil Spencer, I know you're watching my video. What you should do is you need to have that Nindy style 15-20 minute indie show, you know, back-to-back trailers, and then you could go ahead and go with the interviews of the game directors and the artists and all that, show them the vision of the game, you know, a deep dive. So there's definitely some nice surprises, but like I said, this is like a 2-hour show and nobody has time to sit down and actually watch, or is gonna watch a 2-hour show. There was a couple of good announcements. There's a couple of games that I wasn't feeling, but maybe you'll like.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and as always, I'll see you on Xbox.